The massive viewing screen in the Galactic Council's main chamber showed Earth rotating peacefully in space. The blue planet, wrapped in white clouds, looked harmless enough. But the council members knew better, or at least they thought they did. First speaker stood from his ornate chair, his gray skin reflecting the soft light of the chamber. The reports are clear. These humans are too violent for integration into our society. Look at their history: endless wars, nuclear weapons, environmental destruction. We cannot risk the stability of our galactic peace. The other council members nodded in agreement. They had spent months studying Earth's broadcasts, internet traffic, and military communications. What they found disturbed them. Humans fought over everything: resources, land, beliefs, and sometimes just for sport. "What do you suggest we do?" asked second speaker, her tentacles waving gently in concern. "We cannot simply ignore them. Their technology is advancing rapidly." First speaker smiled. "Our scientists have developed a solution: a genetic modification virus delivered through their atmosphere. It will reduce their aggressive tendencies, make them more manageable." The council voted unanimously. None of them considered asking Earth's permission. After all, why would superior beings need consent from primitives? 3 days later, their ships positioned themselves high above Earth's atmosphere. The delivery systems were ready. The virus, designed to modify human DNA to reduce aggression, was loaded into special containers. "Release the pacification agent," first speaker commanded. But something went wrong. Terribly wrong. The virus mutated as it entered Earth's atmosphere. Instead of gently modifying human genetics, it began killing. Cities fell silent. Hospitals overflowed. Millions died in the first week alone. The council watched in horror as their peaceful solution turned into mass murder. But they made another mistake. They didn't finish the job. Millions of humans survived, their bodies naturally resistant to the virus. And these survivors, they were not happy. In the White House Situation Room, military leaders from around the world gathered. For the first time in human history, all nations united under a single cause: survival. The alien transmission was clear, General Anderson said, pointing to the decoded message on the screen. "They tried to change us, to make us peaceful by force. Instead, they killed our people." Admiral Thompson stood up, his face hard with determination. "Then they'll learn why humans are considered dangerous. We're not violent because we're primitive. We're dangerous because we've learned to survive against all odds." The room fell silent as satellite images appeared on the main screen. The alien ships were still there, watching, probably thinking they had succeeded in their mission. "They think they know warfare," Admiral Thompson continued. "But they've never seen how humans fight when we have nothing left to lose. They studied our history. They should have studied it more carefully. Every time humanity faced extinction, we came back stronger." China's military representative spoke next. "We've already begun reverse engineering their technology from the scattered debris of their delivery systems. It's surprisingly simple once you understand the basic principles." Russia's scientists have made breakthroughs in detecting their cloaked ships. Another officer added, "Their technology isn't as advanced as they think. It's just different." The room buzzed with energy as more reports came in. India's tech experts had already cracked the aliens' basic communication protocols. European scientists were developing countermeasures against their weapons. African engineers had found ways to adapt Earth's existing satellites to track alien movements. Admiral Thompson smiled grimly. "They wanted to make us peaceful. Instead, they've given us something we've never had before: a common enemy. For the first time in human history, every nation, every person on Earth wants the same thing: revenge." The meeting ended with a unanimous decision. Earth would appear to be defeated, weakened, and pacified. They would let the Galactic Council think their plan had worked. But in secret, humanity would prepare. They would learn. They would build. They would plan. And when the time came, the Galactic Council would learn a harsh lesson about humanity. The most dangerous predator isn't the one that's naturally violent. It's the one that learns to use violence as a tool, with patience, planning, and purpose. The aliens thought they were being merciful by not destroying Earth completely. Soon, they would realize that was their biggest mistake. 1 year had passed since the alien attack. From space, Earth looked peaceful. Too peaceful. The Galactic Council's observation ships reported success. Human military activities had decreased, and global weapons production appeared to have stopped. They were wrong. Deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, Admiral Thompson walked through a massive underground facility. The air hummed with energy from thousands of machines. Scientists and soldiers from every nation worked side by side, their old rivalries forgotten. "Show me our progress," he ordered, entering the main research chamber. Dr. Wilson, previously NASA's top engineer, pulled up a holographic display. "We've completely mapped their technology. It's fascinating. They never developed certain branches of physics because their minds work differently. They don't understand chaos theory like we do." "Explain it simply, Doctor." "Their ships are like perfect machines. Everything works in straight lines and predictable patterns. But humans, we understand mess. We understand chaos. We've learned to use it." In another section of the facility, military personnel from 30 different countries trained together on simulator pods. These weren't normal battle simulations. They were learning to fight in ways aliens couldn't predict. "Their combat computers can't track us," Major Lee reported, climbing out of a pod. "They expect logical moves, perfect formations. We're teaching our pilots to fight like wild animals. Unpredictable, aggressive, instinctive." Admiral Thompson nodded. "How many pilots trained?" 10,000, sir, from every major air force on Earth. They're ready." The Admiral moved to the engineering section next. Here, the scene looked like something from a science fiction movie. Partially completed ships filled the enormous underground hangar. "These don't look like warships," Thompson observed. Chief Engineer Martinez grinned. "That's the point, sir. We copied their civilian transport designs, but inside." She patted the hull of the nearest ship. "These babies are packed with weapons they can't detect. Their scanners will see cargo ships, but we're building the deadliest fleet in the galaxy." In the computer division, things looked even more promising. Hundreds of programmers worked at stations, their screens filled with alien code. "We cracked their entire network," reported Director Brown. "They think their quantum systems are unhackable. But they never considered old-school computer viruses. Their security is advanced but narrow, like a castle with high walls but no roof." Admiral Thompson's final stop was the command center. Here, massive screens showed the positions of every alien ship near Earth. The aliens thought their vessels were invisible to human technology. "They still think we're blind," General Anderson said, joining Thompson. "Every day, they send reports to the Council about how well their pacification worked. Every day, we learn more about their weaknesses." Thompson stared at the screens. "Are we ready?" "Almost. Our ships can match their speed now. Our weapons can pierce their shields. But we're still working on the final piece, getting our delegation into their council chamber." "How's Ambassador Reed's team doing?" Anderson pulled up another screen, showing a group of humans learning to act submissive and defeated. "Reed's people have mastered the art of looking harmless. The aliens will see exactly what they expect, a broken species coming to beg for mercy. And instead, they'll be letting in the most dangerous humans on Earth, carrying weapons disguised as diplomatic gifts." Thompson walked to the main window overlooking the hangar. Thousands of people worked below, building humanity's revenge. The aliens had tried to change human nature, to make humans peaceful by force. Instead, they had focused humanity's natural aggression into something far more dangerous. Patient, planned vengeance. "Send word to all stations," Thompson ordered. "Begin final preparations. In 1 month, We show the galaxy why you should never corner a species that turned itself from cave-dwelling primates into space explorers in less than 10,000 years. As the orders went out, Earth's secret armies continued their work. On the surface, humans acted peaceful and subdued. Underground, they prepared for war. The Galactic Council thought they had tamed humanity. Soon, they would learn that humans were never meant to be tamed. They were meant to be feared. The testing facility in the Sahara Desert looked like a normal research station from above. The aliens' daily scans showed nothing unusual, just a few buildings and some solar panels. They couldn't see what was happening underground. 200 feet below the sand, Dr. Wilson stood in a massive circular chamber. Above him, suspended in the air by magnetic fields, floated humanity's newest weapon. "Fire the test shot," he commanded. The weapon hummed to life. It didn't look impressive, just a small silver sphere about the size of a basketball. But when it fired, everyone in the room felt their teeth rattle. The beam hit the target, a piece of alien ship armor they'd recovered. The metal didn't melt or explode. Instead, it simply fell apart, its atomic bonds broken by the weapon's strange energy. "Perfect," Dr. Wilson said, checking the readings. "The aliens don't even have a word for this kind of science. They never thought to look at quantum physics this way." In another part of the facility, Major Lee watched as soldiers trained with new personal weapons. These looked like simple metal rods, but each one could change its shape depending on how it was held. "Remember," he told the troops, "these weapons raid your muscle tension. Think sword, it becomes a sword. Think shield, it becomes a shield. The aliens won't expect hand-to-hand combat. They think we're too primitive for it." Meanwhile, in the Pacific Ocean, submarine commanders from different nations practiced with their upgraded vessels. The alien scans couldn't see through Earth's oceans, another weakness humans had discovered. "All ships, begin stealth test," Admiral Thompson's voice crackled over the radio. 50 submarines, now equipped with alien technology, moved in perfect formation. Their new engines didn't make any sound. Their hulls absorbed radar and sonar. They were invisible to everything except human eyes. "Excellent," Thompson said. "The aliens never developed submarine technology. They don't understand underwater warfare. That'll be their loss." In orbit, disguised as space junk, human satellites watched the alien ships. The aliens were so confident in their technology that they never noticed the small changes in the debris around their vessels. Director Brown's computer team had another breakthrough. They found a way to make their ships look like empty space to alien scanners. "It's like digital camouflage," she explained to the military leaders. "We're not trying to be invisible. We're making our ships look like nothing important. Their computers will see us and ignore us." The weapons development continued around the clock. Each one was designed to exploit something the aliens had never considered. Missiles that could change direction randomly, confusing alien tracking systems. Shields that absorbed energy and turned it into power. Computer viruses that hid in normal communication signals. Ships that could split into smaller ships during battle. But humanity's greatest weapon wasn't the technology. It was the way humans thought about warfare. "The aliens fight like they play chess," General Anderson explained during a briefing. "Everything is ordered, logical, predictable. But humans, we fight like we play poker. We bluff. We take risks. We use psychology." In the final weapons test, everything came together. A small fleet of Earth's new ships performed a mock battle against captured alien technology. The results were better than anyone hoped. Human ships moved in ways alien computers couldn't predict. Human weapons hit targets that alien shields were never designed to stop. Human tactics confused alien battle programs. "We're ready," Admiral Thompson said, watching the test results. "Begin loading the weapons onto the diplomatic fleet." Around the world, Earth's hidden arsenal was prepared for war. The ships looked harmless. The weapons looked like decorations. The soldiers looked like civilians. Everything was designed to make the aliens see what they expected, a defeated species coming to surrender. They would never see the truth until it was too late. In the command center, Admiral Thompson looked at the final reports. Every piece was in place. Every weapon was tested. Every soldier was trained. "Send the message to the Council," he ordered. "Tell them Earth wishes to formally submit to their authority. Tell them we're sending a diplomatic mission to show our compliance." The message went out, traveling across space to the Galactic Council. The aliens had no idea they were about to invite their own destruction through their front door. The Galactic Council's space station was enormous. It hung in space like a giant silver flower, its petals stretching out for miles. Ships from 100 alien worlds moved around it in perfect patterns. No one paid much attention to the small fleet of Earth ships approaching. They looked weak, old, and harmless, exactly what the Council expected from a defeated species. Ambassador Reed stood on the bridge of the lead ship, wearing simple gray clothes that the aliens would see as appropriately humble. Behind him, his diplomatic team looked nervous and scared. It was all an act. "Council control, this is Earth diplomatic vessel requesting permission to dock," Reed said, making his voice shake slightly. The alien response came quickly. "Permission granted. Proceed to docking Bay 7. As the ships moved forward, Reed pressed a hidden button on his sleeve. Throughout the small fleet, hidden systems came to life, but nothing showed on the alien scanners. Humans had learned their scanning technology too well. "All teams ready," whispered Major Lee through Reed's hidden earpiece. The docking went smoothly. The alien guards looked down at the humans with a mixture of pity and satisfaction. They saw exactly what they wanted to see: broken, defeated creatures coming to accept their place. "Welcome to the Galactic Council Station," the guard captain said. "You will be escorted to the main chamber." Reed bowed low. Another act. "We are grateful for your mercy." The aliens led them through massive hallways. Everything was beautiful, clean, and perfect. The aliens had never needed to defend these corridors. Why would they? No species had ever dared to attack the Council directly. That was about to change. In the main chamber, the Council members sat in their high seats, looking down at the human delegation. First speaker stood. "Earth's representatives," he said, "we are pleased you have accepted the necessity of our actions. Your species will be happier, safer, and more peaceful under our guidance." Reed stepped forward. "About that," he said, his voice suddenly strong and clear, "we have a different opinion." Before the aliens could react, Reed raised his hand. The simple metal bracelet he wore transformed into a control panel. "Now," he said. Everything happened at once. The decorative pins worn by the human delegation turned into weapons. The diplomatic gifts they had brought open to reveal combat drones. Hidden programs in their communication devices activated, shutting down the station's defenses. The weak ships outside suddenly showed their true power. Alarms screamed throughout the station, but nothing worked properly. Human computer viruses, hidden in normal communication signals, had infected everything. "What is the meaning of this?" First speaker demanded. "This," Reed said calmly, "is humanity showing you what we're really like. You tried to change us by force. You killed millions of our people. Did you think we would just accept that?" The Council members tried to call for help, but their communications were dead. Outside, their defensive fleet found itself surrounded by Earth ships that seemed to appear from nowhere. "Impossible," second speaker whispered. "Your species is primitive. Your technology is basic. We saw your ships, your weapons." "You saw what we wanted you to see," Reed replied. "You studied our history. Then you should know. Humans are very good at deception. We're also very good at learning from our enemies." Throughout the station, human soldiers moved with perfect precision. They didn't kill anyone. They didn't need to. Every system, every weapon, every defense was already under their control. In less than 10 minutes, the heart of galactic civilization fell to a species the Council had dismissed as primitive. Reed walked up to first speaker's chair. "Now let's talk about justice for the millions you killed. And this time, you're going to listen." The aliens stared in shock as their perfect world crumbled around them. They had studied human violence, human warfare, human technology. But they had never understood human cunning, human deception, or human revenge. They were about to learn. The main chamber of the Galactic Council had changed dramatically in just 1 hour. The council members sat in their chairs, but now they were surrounded by human guards. Their perfect order had been replaced by controlled chaos. Admiral Thompson walked into the chamber, his boots echoing on the polished floor. The aliens watched him with a mixture of fear and confusion. "Let me explain what just happened," Thompson said, standing next to Ambassador Reed. "For the past year, while you thought we were becoming peaceful, we were actually learning everything about you." He pulled out a small device and projected a hologram of the galaxy. Red dots appeared, showing alien military bases and secret installations. "We know about all of these," Thompson continued. "Your hidden shipyards, your weapon stockpiles, your secret research stations. We found them all." First speaker stood up, his gray skin pale with shock. "That's impossible. Those locations are protected by our best security systems." Thompson laughed. "Your best systems. We broke them in the first month. You see, you made a serious mistake. You thought humans were simple because we're young. But being young means we learn fast." Director Brown stepped forward with her tablet. "Would you like to know how many of your systems we control right now?" "All of them. Every ship, every station, every weapon." The council members started talking all at once, their voices filled with panic. Second speaker raised her hands for silence. "How?" she demanded. "How did you do this?" "Simple," Brown replied. "You built perfect systems. They always work the same way. But humans, we build things that can adapt, that can change. Our viruses don't just attack, they evolve." On the massive screens around the chamber, images appeared showing human achievements over the past year. Earth ships moving in ways alien computers couldn't track. Human weapons that changed form during battle. Defensive systems that learned from every attack. Computer programs that could think like humans. "But we monitored your planet constantly," third speaker protested. "We saw no signs of this technology." Reed stepped forward. "You saw what we wanted you to see. While you watched our cities, we built underground. While you monitored our satellites, we hid our real technology in what you thought was space junk. And here's the biggest surprise," Thompson added. "We could have destroyed you, could have killed everyone on this station. But we didn't, because that's another thing you got wrong about humans." He walked closer to first speaker. "You thought we were too violent. But real violence, mindless violence, that's not human nature. Humans are capable of incredible violence, yes, but we're also capable of incredible mercy." Dr. Wilson entered the chamber, carrying a data pad. "We've studied your biology, your technology, your history. You tried to change us, but we found a way to help you instead." "Help us?" first speaker asked, confused. "Yes," Wilson replied. "Your society is stagnant. You stopped evolving, stopped adapting. You need chaos to grow. You need challenge to improve. And that's what humans do best. We challenge everything." The room fell silent as the council members realized the full truth. They hadn't just failed to pacify humanity. They had awakened something far more dangerous, human ingenuity. "So now," Reed said, "you have a choice. Work with us as equals. Learn from us as we learn from you." Or, he let the threat hang in the air. One by one, the council members looked at each other. Their perfect world of order and control was gone. In its place was something new, something unpredictable, something human. First speaker slowly sat down. We will need time to discuss this." "Take all the time you need," Thompson said with a smile. But remember, we're watching. We're always watching. And we never forget our dead. As the humans left the chamber, the council members remained seated, trying to understand how they had misjudged humanity so badly. They had tried to force humans to change. Instead, humans had changed everything. News spread quickly through the galaxy. Within days, every alien species knew that humans had taken control of the Galactic Council station. The perfect order of the galaxy shattered. In the Council's emergency meeting chamber, chaos ruled. Representatives from 50 alien species argued, shouted, and threatened each other. Some wanted to fight back against Earth. Others wanted to surrender completely. Fourth speaker, from a species known for its wisdom, stood up. We must face facts. The humans have outsmarted us all. Impossible, shouted a military commander from a warrior species. They are primitives. We should gather our fleets and... He stopped talking as a small hologram appeared above the table. It showed his species' secret military base exploding. Admiral Thompson's voice filled the room. That was one of your hidden bases. We just destroyed it. Would anyone else like to suggest attacking Earth? The room fell silent. On screens around the chamber, more images appeared. Earth ships appeared and disappeared at will near alien worlds. Human technology did things the aliens had thought impossible. By the stars, fifth speaker whispered, how many of our secrets do they know? Ambassador Reed walked into the chamber, followed by his team. The aliens moved back, now afraid of the humans they had once dismissed. All of them, Reed said simply. We know all your secrets. Every hidden weapon. Every secret deal. Every private conversation. More alien representatives entered the chamber, but these weren't council members. They were leaders from worlds that the council had kept down, treated as inferior. We've been talking to your forgotten colonies, Reed explained. The worlds you decided weren't advanced enough to have a voice. They're very interested in working with Earth. First speaker, who had been quiet until now, finally spoke. What do you want? Complete control of the council. Thompson laughed. Control? No, that's your way of thinking, not ours. We want justice. We want change. And most importantly, we want to make sure you never try to force your will on another species again. Director Brown activated a large holographic display showing a new design for the galaxy's government. We're proposing a new system. Every species gets a voice, not just the ones you think are advanced enough. Every world gets protection, not just the ones you favor. And if we refuse, someone asked from the back of the room. Reed smiled. It wasn't a friendly smile. Then we leave. We take our technology, our innovations, and our protection, and we let everyone in the galaxy know all your secrets. The threat hung in the air. Every alien in the room knew what that would mean. Without human technology to protect them, without human innovations to help them, the council worlds would be vulnerable. And with their secrets exposed, they would face the anger of every species they had ever wronged. One by one, the council members looked at each other. Their perfect system was falling apart. Their power was slipping away. And the species they had tried to destroy was now offering them a chance to survive. Perhaps, first speaker said carefully, we should discuss these proposals in detail. Good choice, Thompson said. But remember, this isn't a negotiation. This is humans showing mercy. Don't mistake it for weakness. As if to emphasize his point, another hologram appeared, showing Earth's fleet. But now the ships were different. Bigger, stronger, even more advanced than before. 1 week, Reed announced. You have 1 week to accept our terms. After that, he let the threat hang unspoken. The aliens watched as the humans left the chamber. In just a few days, everything had changed. The species they had tried to pacify had turned out to be more dangerous than they could have imagined. But not dangerous in the way they had feared. Humans weren't mindless killers. They were something far more terrifying. They were intelligent, adaptable, and most surprisingly of all, capable of both complete destruction and complete mercy. The Council had 1 week to decide which they would face. 1 month after humanity's takeover of the Council station, the galaxy looked very different. The massive meeting chamber had been rebuilt. Gone were the high seats that put Council members above everyone else. Now all representatives sat at the same level. Admiral Thompson stood at the center of the chamber, looking at the faces around him, human and alien together. "The final votes are in," he announced. "The new Galactic Alliance has been approved." First speaker, now just one voice among many, seemed smaller than before. "And what happens now?" "Now we rebuild," Ambassador Reed said. "But first, justice must be served." Director Brown activated a large display showing the numbers. Millions of humans dead from the Council's failed genetic modification attempt. The aliens who had ordered the attack shifted uncomfortably in their seats. "Your punishment is this," Reed continued. "The worlds responsible will pay reparations to Earth. Not in money or resources, but in knowledge. You will share all your technological and scientific discoveries. You will help us rebuild what you destroyed." Dr. Wilson stepped forward with a new proposal. "In return, we'll share our innovations, our ways of thinking, our ability to see solutions you never considered." The change was already visible. Throughout the galaxy, human chaos was mixing with alien order. Ships now moved in unpredictable patterns, but safely. Cities combined perfect alien architecture with human creativity. Computers learned to think both logically and intuitively. Different species started working together, learning from each other. On 100 worlds, humans were teaching aliens things they had never considered. How to think outside normal patterns. How to use disorder to create something new. How to learn from mistakes instead of hiding them. How to change and adapt instead of staying the same. But the most important change, Thompson said, is this: never again will any species try to force their will on another. The consequences, he looked meaningfully at the former council members, have been made very clear. Second speaker, who had supported the attack on Earth, stood up. "We were wrong," she admitted. "We thought we were superior because we were older, more advanced. But we had stopped growing, stopped learning. Humans taught us that being younger doesn't mean being inferior. It means having the power to change." Around the galaxy, Earth's influence spread, but not through force or fear. Instead, humans shared their unique gifts, their ability to see patterns in chaos, their talent for turning weaknesses into strengths, their skill at learning and adapting, their capacity for both justice and mercy. The alien species that the old council had ignored or suppressed found new opportunities. With human support, they developed their own technologies, their own ways of doing things. The galaxy became more diverse, more dynamic, more alive. Admiral Thompson looked at the final reports. Earth's dead had been honored. Justice had been served. The galaxy was changing for the better. "Remember this day," he told the assembled representatives. "Not as the day humans took revenge, but as the day the galaxy learned that true strength isn't about forcing others to change. It's about having the wisdom to change yourself." Ambassador Reed added one final point. "We could have destroyed you all, could have taken over everything. But that's not what humans are about. We're about building things better, making things work, finding new ways forward." As the session ended, aliens and humans left together, talking, sharing ideas, making plans. The galaxy was no longer divided between advanced and primitive species. Now every world had something to teach and something to learn. First speaker approached Thompson as the chamber emptied. "You've changed everything," he said. Thompson smiled. "No, we just showed you what change looks like. The rest is up to all of us, humans and aliens together." Above the station, Earth ships patrolled alongside alien vessels. But they weren't watching for enemies anymore. They were protecting something new. A galaxy where different species worked together, where progress came through cooperation, not force. The Council had tried to change humanity. Instead, humanity had changed the galaxy. And this time, the change was for the better.